Hello everyone, welcome back to Witch in the Woods, and we are once more in the bottom of the well. So, on our list of things to do, I have to show you the progress on the base. We need to go specifically over the Witchery progress. I'm going to show you my design for the anti-death machine, and then of course we have the homework review and assignment. This week it was the machinist, so if you haven't watched it, pause this video and watch it now. Anyways, so you might notice that the bottom of the well is looking quite a bit different now. There's a lot fewer things. I'm now up to diamond crop, but there's a bit of discrepancy on chunk loading, apparently, so I don't know what's happened there. But we are doing pretty well. I do actually now have the Master Infusion Stone that can make all the levels of different essence for magic crops. So I don't have to have 4 of them in my inventory all the time. Oh, yeah, there comes a bit of diamond essence, I believe. Which we have tons of. We're actually almost, like, running out of storage space here for ender essence, but by the time that fills up, that shouldn't be an issue. And I went and got a bunch more mob spawners, so we've got witch, zombie, spider, and skeleton. We're more or less just missing blaze and, well, blaze and silverfish with regards to the vanilla spawners. Although I don't believe witches actually exist inside of, like, vanilla. Well, as spawners. Anyways, you know what I mean. Okay, so, as you can see here, it says level 0 farm. You can also see that this place has now gotten a slight renovating, so that it's actually got, like, Spanish moss coming down it again, and it's got these little edge pieces as well. So if I stare up, it's looking a lot more like home, as we remember it at least. And we have an elevator, or a lift, if you happen to be, like, from the proper Queen's English-speaking places. So, if I jump, we can come up to this more dismal location. This is processing. So, this is where we're going to send everything to get processed into ingots form, into, like, most possible reward form, as well as to manufacture a large number of things, including all the witchery stuff. So, I've got a kettle, a double fume fuddle. If you remember my last series, fume fuddle was always how I mispronounced this, which is oven, and a distillery, which is fully stocked. Right. Next, oh, yeah, I should already mention this, we have an ender generator, which is good, because as you'll notice on my hotbar, we have some familiar tools, so I don't have to worry about making new pickaxes and swords all the time. Yup. Next up is computing and storage. Some people were concerned I was probably going to dive into ME, Applied Energistics, because firstly I did it last time, secondly it generally seems like the easy way out, and the alternative really is logistics pipes, and logistic pipes have their plus and minuses versus AE, and I just generally prefer AE. If you want to watch logistics pipes, go to Dave. It's worth noting, though, that if I get within, like, 3 chunks of Dave's place, I start to lag horrendously, which is why you more or less haven't seen my side of the hardware episodes we've been doing. Other than that, we've got a ton of resources. I actually started blocking some, just for, like, storage sake. That won't be an issue for very long. So the plan for this level is that we'll have storage monitors over here, so I've taken the place of these barrels. We will have a MAC chamber here, a molecular assembly chamber, and over here we will have a sort of a glass window looking in on our ender generator engine, which is going to be powering the whole place. And then over here is just sort of a bank of ME drives and maybe some terminals that we can actually access things through or see what's being crafted at the moment. Very straightforward. I kind of want this place to look clean, but I'll talk about exactly how I want the design of the base to go next. So the final level is level 3, personal improvements, and I'm staring this particular way for a very good reason, because if I turn around, something probably looks quite familiar. Now, this looks black from this direction. Let's go over... Nope, it's probably because it's raining. But that is inverted skyblock, which shows the skybox of the world at all times. Here we have sandstone and cobblestone, very simple, but this is specifically meant to evoke the original world's design, after I'd actually decorated it. So the last few episodes of the last season of Chaosville basically is what this is meant to look like. This level I want to look like the old well. I want it to look like the last time I actually decorated the well. And then coming down, further down, I want this place to look dilapidated, mossy, broken up. I want this place to look like it's been, like, left for a long time without any kind of maintenance. And I kind of want to transition between the two as you go through the levels, so you can tell how high up in the well you are as you're going through. You can make sure exactly where you are, even if you can't see any of the machines. So, for example, if you're just staring like here, there isn't really much difference, but you'll be able to tell exactly where you are, which is going to be fun. It's going to look really nice. So I'm gonna love doing this level. So that is base progress done. Witchery progress. So I was hoping that we could make our first poppet today, which we probably can if I'm very quick about it. So let's see, poppet. Bingo. Okay, so the standard poppet is 4 wool, 2 Spanish moss, a bit of string, and a bone needle. A bone needle is bone and flint. You get 8 of them. I already have quite a few icy needles from the farm, and I have gotten some ritual chalk, so that's when that's down, although it's not fantastically decorated around here just yet, because I need to get some fairly strong essence in the magical crops to get Neverbrick on farm status. The cactus green I've been getting from the dye essence, as well as the dandelion yellow and such, so we have a lot of dye essence, so that's coming out quite nicely. But okay, so now we need some string, so we go down to the computing and storage level, and we get ourselves a bit of string, as well as a bone and a bit of flint, all of which is farmable. It's very important that all of this stuff be, like, something that we can grab as we need it. And then we go down to farming to grab some cotton, to turn into wool. If I could actually get this thing to work right. Yeah. Wrong button. There. Good enough. Close enough. Okay, so wool, 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 Spanish moss, bone needle, and poppet. Okay, now of course the one that we're looking for is this one, the Death Protection poppet. And that requires a drop of luck, which is not too easy to come by, and diamond vapor, which is, as well as 2 gold nuggets. A diamond vapor is just oil of vitriol and a diamond inside of the distillery, which we can probably do. So, let's see, diamond, and oil of vitriol. I should have a few of them. Yep, there they are. Come down to processing again. Here we are. And there is actually, like, another... You can just see it back there. They're very basic at the moment. They've just got a torch on them. They need, like, candelabras and chalices and all sorts. But for now, it's just a torch to increase their recharge rate. So, vitriol and diamond. And away it bubbles. So that will gradually go through, and it will eventually make the thing that we're interested in, which is right here. So 2 diamond vapors per diamond and an odor of purity. Now, the drop of luck I mentioned is a bit harder to come by, because you need Mutandis Extremis, which we can make easily. We have plenty for that. And Refined Evil. Refined Evil requires a diamond vapor and a ghast tear, so every Death Protection poppet requires at least 1 diamond, basically. And that gets us 1 Refined Evil, as well as 2... well, as well as a Foul Fume, a Reek of Misfortune, and Odor of Purity. Those are mostly fairly base level stuff. But the ghast tear is the problem, because you can make it from ghast essence, but ghast seeds are still kind of on the high end. So let me see, there it is. Requires 4 strong essence, which is in turn 4 regular, which is in turn 4 weak, which is in turn 4 essence. So, it's a bit much. I actually did the math, and I worked out that a single top tier, there's a single extreme level seed in magical crops, requires 16 stacks of essence dust. Like, that's a lot, especially when you're growing it. It's like, I would need about 13 farms the size of this, all making essence crop, to get that on a regular basis. Obviously, we are going to be expanding this farm level out quite a bit, but for now, oh yeah, I should probably mention. So here, crops, over there, trees, over there, mobs, and back here, miscellany, I guess. I don't know exactly what else I'll have to grow, or indeed how I'll have to grow it. Oh yeah. Also, the travel anchors are now a little bit farther apart. There's one at the top, and one at the bottom, so I can go from top to bottom really quickly without having to use the lift, if I'm in a hurry. And of course, I have my travel anchor to go to any of the 3 as long as I'm in range of it, which is nice. Anyways, let's check on Yep, okay, so diamond vapor, that's one ingredient done. How many gas tiers do I have is the next question. 2. And go gas hunting to get some gas seeds, I guess. Yee. But, okay, we'll call that there, but that is our first poppet. Not our first death protection poppet, but we'll probably have that by next time. So that is the progress on Witchery. That is the wrong notebook, because it looks identical. Anti-death machine. Okay. I'm going to film in my creative world a little bit right now, so that you guys can enjoy seeing exactly how that works. I am a little bit low on power, so this is going to be fun. But I will be popping through right about. Right, so here we are in my created little test world, where many strange things happen. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much the entire crafting tree that we have to traverse to get to a death protection poppet down to me. So it starts pretty much entirely with string, cactus green, which we can make from the dye essence, so that's technically a crafting point, but yeah. Eggs, I forget which one that is. 1 second. I'm used to seeing these things like without the Sphax texture back on, so yeah. That is Hint of Rebirth, which we can get from pine trees in the with the Witch's oven. Bone meal, again, that's technically a crafting step, but yeah. Mandrake, which is going to be a huge pain to stockpile, and wood ash, which we can get from getting that as well. So that is most of it to go into just regular Mutandis. Add Neverwater around 8 of it, and then you get the Mutandis Extremis, plus the Refined Evil from the distillery and the water bottle, and that gets you the Drop of Luck. So this whole section here is for one of the 4 ingredients to just make the Unbound Poppet. Then we have to combine bones and flint to get the bone needles, Spanish moss, which we need to farm, get string, as well as have a little bit of string itself to make a regular poppet. Then it's diamond vapor, 4 gold nuggets, and the Drop of Luck to make the death protection poppet, which we then combine with a tag lock bound to me to make the, well, tag lock, the poppet bound to me. So here are essentially the 2 systems I've put together that can handle this kind of thing. Now I know there are going to be preferences for one over the other, so this is why I'm demonstrating that is what we have to achieve, and a little bit more in fact. So over here we have an ME system equivalent. This is actually making armor, tool, and death protection poppets within such a tiny space. So what happens is that the system keeps a stock of poppets and a stock of tag lock kits bound to me, and it keeps 2 of them in this output all the time. These item translocators, which we used on the farm, so you might remember them, are regulating it so that only one of each of those is inside of here at any given time, and that also means that there's usually always one poppet ready to pull out. This is then just pulling it all out. Now I could use the item ducts, but I like using the regulators. They look nice. They have a nice little clean feel to them, and there's something we haven't used much already. So also there's a slight glitch with the regulating on the translocators, so I can either have the entire shelf full or I can have one of a given poppet. Personally, I'm going to go for overkill more than underkill. So there we go. So we have a long list of things. Now the reason that I have to go through this instead of just crafting it inside the system is that there is a data value glitch in Energistics with regards to the poppets. So if I told, like, this is one of the earlier systems, if I told this thing to craft me a poppet bound to me, it would get stuck at crafting the poppet. Like, it wouldn't know how to do it, it would just stay there forever. I don't quite know why it did that, but it did. So from there, that is the extremely tight, very small, robust system for AE, which will already tie into our storage and our crafting and processing system anyways. I'm just using a creative cell here to show that we can craft all of these things from scratch, basically. But it's very small, very nice, very clean, I like it. And this is what I could come up with for the non-applied Energistics equivalent in a small space. So again, I'm using the item translocators, and you can see I've actually got 4 of them in a few places here. Okay, I swear I just heard a creeper dying, but fine. So we start at the Mutandis, and we start with the bone needles, and we climb up through here. There's the tag locks in here. I've got one chest feeding, like, let me see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different, where am I hearing that? That's creepy. Bizarre. Anyways. So yeah, it just ends up at basically the same thing. Like, these two sections are identical, more or less, to those two over there. So the interfaces are just cutting out this whole chunk down here. It's more expensive. It's going to be slower. It's going to be laggier. I can't tell it, for example, to keep a backlog of X number of death protection poppets, which I can with the ME system. So even if I just had interfaces where these chests are to be outputting the ingredients, this is not going to be as effective. And if I'm going for immortality, I feel like it needs to be reliable immortality. Like, I don't want to be just wandering around wearing no armor or anything and get, like, blown up by a creeper that I thought I could have just stood next to, no problem. So, yeah. So those are the two systems. I'm probably going to go for this one. If you're more interested in seeing routine crafting, then go to Dave's channel where he's doing Energistics pipes. Again, they're not really my favorite, but I could theoretically do them, I guess. And we will have the power supply to handle this kind of stuff. So, that is basically the immortality machine. Let me know what you think in the comments, and now let's just hop on back to the well, and I shall get you there. Now. Okay, and that is one more thing covered up. So next is the homework review. So this week we had the Machinist, or the Machinist, depending on how you want to pronounce it, and yes, General Zombie. Why are you always pointing at people? It's not very nice. So the Machinist is a really great take on psychosis as a consequence, as like the engine of someone's terror, because it is really well done throughout the entirety of it. The main character is, like, always questioning everything, because he doesn't sleep. He hasn't slept in years. But there isn't anything to actually tell you that this whole thing is in his head. And by the end of it, you are questioning his sanity just as much as he is. It's really, really well done, and I really think it is deserving of its cult classic status. Christian Bale's performance in it is absolutely magnificent. And then there is the numerous, like, little side touches, like the blood coming out of the freezer, like the game of Hangman on the fridge, just the definite visuals with the accident scene. Like, it's just a really, really well done kind of movie, and I really think it's deserving of its status and all sorts, which I could ramble about forever. So, hopefully you enjoyed that as a look at psychosis within the self, that is to say self-generated horror. New assignment. So, the assignment, this time, I won't give a timeline because I keep doing that and it's a bad idea for me. The assignment this time is 30 Days of Night. Now, this is a movie about vampires, I have to say that. And you can probably guess it's going to involve quite a lot of blood from the fact that the DVD cover and such is bright blood red and black. It treats vampires differently to conventional, like, traditional storylines. It treats it differently to Twilight, thank God. It treats them as apex predators. So, look for the shark inside of them. It's a very good movie. If you've watched The Walking Dead, or if you've read The Walking Dead graphic novels, it has a lot in common. Maybe not explicitly, but there is a lot of similarities to be drawn, especially with visuals. But I hope you enjoy that. So, as always, I have been Lying Bedmon. This has been Witch in the Woods, and I shall catch you all next time.